This video is on competitive representative agencies. I did a couple really short videos. This one's going to be targeting maybe 10 to 12 minutes, maybe even getting up to 15, but I'm sure you already know the length of the video. Okay, I want to change how we do our elections for the legislative branch in America to competitive representative agencies. So instead of having, let's say, 100 House of Delegates, state legislator across all of Virginia, we'll get rid of each district and we'll go to competitive representative agencies. All you have to do is get 5% of the citizens to agree to be part of your representative agency, and you have a new representative agency. And then if you get 7% of the citizens of Virginia, you send representatives with 7% of the power. And whatever the decimal points need to go, every switch of a citizen changes the power of the representatives that are being sent up there. So some representative agencies might have 12%, some might have 18%, some might have 7%. You have about a dozen different agencies, each with a different percentage. So if you have 5.3253 and one person leaves, you have a little bit less. The decimal points matter. So each representative that goes up to the legislative branch is not going to just have one vote. They're going to have a percent that is being sent to them based off their membership, the citizens that selected them. Then, for the executive vote, for the president, the governor, the mayor, or whatnot, the police chief, the sheriff, whatever is elected, for the top executive, your representative agency will represent you in that. Now, if they want to say, hey, we're going to choose the one that we want based off of our philosophy, the conservative, the liberal, the Republican, the Democrat, the libertarian, we're going to select one, they can do that. But you could change your representative agency if you don't like it. Or they can say, we're going to represent you, you come in and vote, and then we'll show you the results. We'll send the results up to the general election board or whatever the case may be, and then that will be part of the election for the top executive. And then the representative agencies will also have the power to do some in the judicial branch as well. Some nominations to the judicial branch probably still have to be approved through the Senate and the like. Whatever process that's currently done with the executive doing the nominations, but now you have the competitive representative agencies doing some of that representation. Let's keep on going through it. There's going to be some more they get into, and this will be progressively getting further and further into government. So let's keep on going through. We want to change how Americans are represented in government. In the current system of one representative for every person in a geographic district, so it's no longer winner take all. You can have 45 to 55 election. One person gets 45%, one person gets 55%. The person who got 55% gets 100% of the power. The 45% don't get any power. They don't get represented in the state legislative branch or the federal branch, whatever election you're dealing with. So if it's winner take all, the loser doesn't get any. And even in the winner, the primary position, your primary position might have not been your primary election vote. Probably could have gone to the other person. So if you you wanted candidate A, but candidate B won in the primary, well, you missed out too. You're not being represented by the people you like. And then a lot of times your representative doesn't do what you want to do anyway, even if you voted for them. You might have a different idea about how you want to be represented for prison policy, for education policy, for insurance policy, for all the laws dealing with military or police or the environment. What if you got to choose your representative agency per sector of government, per branch, per Secretary of War, Secretary of whatever, all the different areas of government. Okay, let's keep on going. I'm sure I went down some rabbit holes. I'll get to the bullet points anyway. In the current election process of one representative for everyone in a geographic district, and go to a proportional voting system. Um, five, all you need is 5%, and I do put a max on 20%, so you don't get one that gets too large. If if two that are super similar, just have two that's super similar. Um, and I'm sure once you get up to that 18, 19%, you're going to split off with very, very similar viewpoints, and half of them are going to go one way and half of them go the other way, and you can grow from there. So 5 to 20% of citizens can officially create their representative agency. That's a constitutional obligation or constitutional authority that you have, that citizens have. You group together and you can create your representative agency. To send their representatives to the legislative branch and represent their members in the vote for the top executive. A representative from the rating agency holds the representative strength and voting power relative to their membership. So you can have, let's say you have 100 different representatives up there. Each one's going to have a different level of power of their representative vote. So a representative agency with 8.398326% of citizens send one or more representatives with that total power. So they can send one person with a whole 8%, 8.39 whatever percent, or they can send four up there with 2%, 2.1% each. So they can do that. There's a lot of things they can do. So that's how that works, which I want it to work. Okay, every switch of membership changes a percentage of the representation. This might be small percentages off to the edge, but if you don't like what they're doing, switch. Representative agencies can start taking over governmental responsibilities. So I want, first of all, they're going to start nominating people to be staff. They're going to start be part of the hiring process of some for the staff of the executive department. So your entrance into the let's say the DMV or the Social Security Board or other boards, 10% of this teachers, 10% of the police officers, whatever the case may be. Now I go much farther in the other reforms, competitive police, competitive school boards, and the like. But if you just take this competitive representative agency reform all by itself, they start hiring people based off their membership. So they get 10% of the hires if they have 10% of the members, 10% of the citizens. So representative agencies can start taking over governmental responsibilities such as identification, the DMV, the passport office, and the like. Because they hired them, you go to them. You go to the ones that they hired to do the DMV. Now they have a lot of checks and balances. They have to go through the law. They have to a lot of oversight. So the police oversight. You get your representative agency gets to nominate people for the police oversight, the internal affairs, if you will. They deal with criminal records, medical records, financial records, fees and taxes, citizenship, ownership of different things, who owns what property, as well as other things. So they start entering into government first by hiring the people. Now, other people can still fire them if they do a bad job. I'm not saying that can't happen. But they hire the people that they want. Again, major oversights. I know the abuse can happen, but abuse already happens. We have to have a ways to deal with that abuse. And within the system, I do. Representative agencies will have real authority to fight for civil liberties. So if a police are doing wrong and they're violating civil liberties, your representative agency can go to bat for you. Your representatives can go to bat for you. And all the people that they hire people with like-minded philosophy. And if you don't like what your representatives or your staff members are doing, you do have some authority to switch them out. Labor laws will have to go by the wayside to some degree because representative agencies are important. Okay. Representative agency staff serves their members to the most significant degree possible. I want to keep on growing that. And again, if you look at some of my other reforms, I grow that significantly. So this will take amendment form, amendment to the Constitution, whether it's the state constitution, the federal constitution, uh, where we say 5% or more, but not exceeding 20% of citizens of any established geographic jurisdiction. So Virginia is an established geographic jurisdiction. Chesapeake, Virginia is an established city. It has an established government. So the amendment form would be if you can get 5% of the citizens, you can establish, you can create your own representative agency. And whatever percentage of people you get, 18%, you get 18% of that power on the city council and the like. Members of a representative agency will send representatives to the legislative body with voting authority that matches their membership. Kind of already said that, but it's good to repeat. Representative agencies handle the proportion of the executive vote. Representative agencies nominate their proportion of judicial appointments. Again, that's part of this. We'll see how all that works out, but I want that to be part of it. Representative agencies fill government staff positions in proportion to their membership. And a lot can be seen at Haley2024.org to see how it will work in every aspect of government. Until the next video.